Morocco versus Ghana at the Legends Sports Ground in Kampala. And towards the end, there's only 3 left in day 1 of the Africa Men's Sevens, the World Cup qualifiers, as Ghana will take on Morocco. Ghana have been improving the whole way through the day, and to be honest, I think fair to say, and probably so of Morocco.
Yeah, I think this is 2 well-balanced sides. It's going to be a great contest because both of them have had some ups and downs today. They'll look to really crack on as we look at the team sheets.
Well, not too many players of note. Brian Britchett, number 5 for Morocco, he's their playmaker, and he hasn't all gone his way in the first couple of games. He's shown a lot of frustration, but the Ghanaians just all-round improving side.
Yeah, Aminu, who was in picture earlier on, has shown some great pace, scoring some good tries today. As they would like to look at real hang time in this kickoff to put pressure early on.
That's a great kickoff from Morocco, but goes in the favor of Ghana. A chance now for Ghana to get into the Morocco half. I wonder if maybe that was needed.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can end in a card.
It's quite evident that the team is coached by South African because they are taking the route 1 around the rucks and doing so with great endeavor.
Picked up by Morocco, and maybe Ghana just a little bit guilty of not really finding that support runner, finishing off that play. Anyway, now Morocco have an opportunity to counter. This is their gas man, and he's quick. He's going to get around his defender, and unfortunately for Ghana, who won the attack, it's going to end in 7 points. Or I'd like to think Yunus will get in under the posts for Morocco, and that's a bad result for the Ghanaians.
Yeah, and the Ghanaians were looking good on attack. Just a turnover. And then the gas man given enough space, and he really has shown his pace today.
Well, Ghana were 2-on-1 in an attack, and the man with ball in hand not really looking for the support player, then just threw a sort of speculative pass thinking he was there. That brought on the turnover, and Morocco very clever, getting the ball out wide to Yunus and getting in for the 5 points.
As we see here, he really has shown good gas in terms of getting on the outside and always beating his man. He's got great athletic running style.
So 7 points to 0, Morocco lead Ghana. That's a good kick. And well won back by Morocco. Ghana's got to be careful they don't make silly little mistakes like allowing Morocco in the game. There's some pace now from Ghana. He should go all the way, Sunny Alassane. And he's going to get in for the first try. So the lead, or the 1-0 up try to Morocco, is short-lived as Sunny Alassane strikes straight back for Ghana.
He really has shown some good running in this game. I think his 3rd try for today. And the kick just pulls off to the left, as Morocco still lead this game 7 points to 5. As we look at here, he seemed to come from behind the gate.
Were you happy with that steal?
Yeah, a bit contentious. I didn't think he was behind the last man's feet. But these rucks in 7 seem to be a bit different with the 15s. The offside line anyway.
Well, the kickoff not good from Ghana, so they'll hand possession straight back to Morocco. Nice feet from the Moroccans. That looks like it's gone forward, and chance now for Ghana to come back. And Carlos Emmanuel, a big boy, takes it into contact.
Again, some easy turnovers by the Ghanaian team. They've got ball in hand, and it's always looking for the offload or not contesting solidly enough at the ruck to secure your ball.
I almost get the impression that Ghana, and especially from a sevens perspective, have gone into contact too much. And what they've done is they've put their fellow players under pressure because the offload is too late. So if the offload is there, it's the fellow player or the support player under pressure. And that was a perfect example, forcing that mistake because the pass is too late.
Yeah, agreed. They really have to look at their tactics as the Moroccans look to cover side to side, and that's an excellent late switch. Right close to the try line.
A little bit scrappy from Morocco, but they've still got a chance.
Oh, yes.
Well, it's a good try from Morocco. They caused the overlap. They had stretched Ghana, and Brian Britchett gets over for his first try of the tournament. A playmaker. He's been a little bit quiet, but in the end, a pretty simple run-in.
Yeah, and he was really vocal in the huddle that we saw early on. He was very vocal about how they want to start playing this game, and you could see that they used the width and got, you know, excellent passes in front of the bodies that way, just allowing the player to use his pace and continuity. A well-worked try by the Moroccans there. As he looks to add the 2. Good concentration, and that's a good strike. Great kick.
Kenny, your drop kicks ever that classy?
Oh, yeah, well, I didn't go for class. I just made sure I got points on the board, you know.
So it wasn't how you looked,
yeah,
how you played.
Some of them were real torpedoes. You know, it's difficult to make a torpedo when you're drop kicking.
Well, how times have changed, because now you're always late for the bus, because now it's all about how you look. You're never on the bus in time. That's a great take in the air. Morocco from the kickoff, great hanging kick, and what a great try. Very brave from Emmanuel Carlos. He plucks it out of the sky. Confirmation, it is not Emmanuel Carlos, it's Abid Mohammed who plucks it out of the sky, and that is a great try.
And right is so that his coach should be up and celebrating, because that was a good kickoff, good commitment in terms of, you know, jumping in the air and trying to get your reception of the ball correctly. Morocco are starting to turn it on here.
This one's not good. So it'll end the half with Morocco with a pretty comfortable lead, 19 points to 5 over Ghana. And it's going to be a hefty effort here from Ghana to come back. But what great work from Abid Mohammed getting over for the try.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that the vocal coach of the Ghanaian team is going to be scratching his head trying to find out her remedy, because the Moroccan team have really been very clinical in terms of scoring tries.
When you're hot, it's this hot. And you're big, this big. When you're deep, it's this deep. and you're busy, this busy. When you live in a place of possibility, when you're driving Africa's growth, you never stop moving forward. Standard Bank, moving forward.
Well, it's a comfortable lead at halftime here for Morocco. My expectation was that Ghana were going to put up a good fight, and they did in the first half of the first half. But in the latter second quarter, or the second quarter of the game, it's been all Morocco, and well deserved as well, Kenny. They've played some nice rugby of the Moroccans.
Yeah, they really have been clinical, and you know, obviously both teams are looking to get into the quarterfinals because there's you know, that big ticket of trying to get to the Rugby World Cup next year in San Francisco. So there's a lot to play for. Not mentioning a chance to get to Hong Kong and get a chance to qualify for the series as well.
Just holding it up now, Morocco. He's got numbers on the far side, needs to get it wide. Play now on the 10-yard line of Ghana, and referee decides that not releasing the ball, it's a penalty to Ghana. So a chance for them. They'll have to score nice and early in the second half to have a chance of really getting back into this game.
As the Ghanaian team look to continue in attack. Again, they didn't gather and they let the speedster get on his way. How was his soccer skills? Not great.
Well, Yunus sort of like putting his hand up, like saying, I think I got it. He didn't look convinced, did he?
Yeah. That poker face of trying to fool the ref, you know, you must turn around and celebrate. That always works.
Correct. Well, he was maybe guilty of putting in one too many kicks. He had the open space. Referee's given it.
How about that?
I'm not so sure about this. Yes, this will show you.
Downward pressure, I say that's a try.
Yeah, but you got to do it inside the dead ball line for it to be a try. That's the problem.
We can't get the angle. We need to get the angle.
Well, hopefully
so we can see it, whether it was in the
we do have a very good director and vision mixer and cameraman at Kwesi. Yeah. So hopefully we will get another angle of that.
He really is enjoying himself here in Kampala. He is.
That's a great kick.
And scoring tries left, right, and center. He has.
Well, the question is, I don't really think that that try is going to make or break this game, but I'm not so sure if this is a try. I'm trying to also find the dead ball line.
As we look here, that is downward pressure. Bounced up.
Kenny.
But anyway.
Are you planning on being a referee?
No, well, with Rasta around giving me some advice, I'm definitely not. I'm not looking to go that way, but
well, we can tell you is that it was given a try. He has a turnover for Ghana. Where's the support? It's sort of indecisive on which way to go. I need some more runners to Ghana. They look very flat-footed.
Yeah, their attack is very static and lateral and very narrow, as we can see.
Now they have some numbers. They got to get it wide. But they need to inject some bit of pace and momentum into this back line because it's, like you said, very static and flat-footed. 22 now of Morocco, just in picture there. So they're making a little bit of headway, but it is slow for Ghana. They need to score some quick tries if they're going to make a comeback in this game. Also one man down, Ghana, and that will end a very pedestrian play.
Yeah, I think that sums up how tired the players are.
Yeah.
As we said, it's really intense because there's a lot at stake here at this tournament, you know. So I think that intensity that's been there at the beginning of the tournament, it's been crucial.
We've spoken about 4 games a day for teams that do it more often than others. So your Zimbabweans and your Ugandans that do that. Ghana and Morocco new into Sevens Rugby 1 to play 4 games of intense rugby a day. 1, 2, they're both coastal countries. So the altitude here in Uganda, we are lucky that it's cooled down a little bit. But it's tough conditions for these smaller teams.
No, it really is a challenge. They've withstood, you know, a lot of the pressure. And like I said, their coaches are putting them under pressure because there's so much at stake. You know, I'm hearing some coaches are training 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. In this weather, it's really tough.
Well, I tell you the good news out of all of it is that there's only one way that these teams are going to get any better. And with this introduction of what is looking like it's building towards on Kwese Sport, a sevens league or series around Africa, these teams playing in more and more of those tournaments, they're only going to get better.
No, and I think that's a good thing. And I think it's bad that it comes after my era because I wouldn't have opted to go and play in South Africa. I would have loved to play in the series.
Do you think your hamstring would have handled the weather in Kampala? Because apparently humidity makes your hamstring shrink. Turnover penalty, holding on to the ball, Ghana. So an opportunity now for Morocco to clear the line. You can answer that question at your own time, Kenny Simba.
And I'll take my time with that as well. But
those of you that don't know, Kenny Simba was a Zimbabwe rugby player, ended up in Bloemfontein. You had to take your Afrikaans dictionary with you, Kenny, when you first arrived there.
Yeah, well, with that type of Afrikaans, I picked it up within a day or so because there was nothing else that was being spoken. And I thought I'd be able to transfer them to speak English. And they said, yes, and nux of that. And that means none of that. Yeah, none of that's going to happen. But, you know, just speaking about a lot of players that have come from Africa that have ended up in Bloemfontein. You look at Tonderai Shavanga, Raymond Rule, the Ghanaian has also ended up in Bloem. So it's quite a destination for Africans that play rugby.
Well, the game started to get a little bit scrappy. Just half a minute left for these two teams in day 1 for them to then find themselves somewhere on the log tomorrow. I suppose for the lesser teams, the key is not finishing 9 and 10. You want to finish in the top 8 because not that you've still got a chance to qualify, but you do. You're into the quarterfinals. So that's why these teams are really playing all the way to the end because you want to finish in the top 8 on that combined log.
Yeah, and we can see the pressures have been under pressure in terms of that the way they keep on informing the players to give it their all right to the final whistle.
Kenny, your time in Bloemfontein, did your barbecue skills improve at all? Because I know that that's the Boerewors braai capital of Africa as well.
Well, I'm looking at some of the braais that are happening here in Kampala.
They look pretty good, don't they?
Yeah, it looks very good. So I'll be joining them in a bit of a braai master feast.
Well, we're in the braai capital of East Africa called Kampala, and our director organizes us a hamburger. I'm not so sure that's very clever, do you think? Well, there's that final hooter. So there'll be one more play for these two teams today on day 1. As like we've said, as much as Ghana unfortunately will be on the receiving end of this one, teams have got better. And Morocco, the perfect example, that a little bit of a slow start for them this morning. But they finished on a real high and they'll be happy with that. Yeah, and they were impressive in this outing in terms of just how clinical they were. I mean, 26 points to 5. We saw them playing early on against their neighbors, Tunisia, in that North African derby, and they were really pushing the side, and it's good to see them getting a win at the end of the day. Well, we'll have to wait and see how long this last play is. It'll leave us 2 games left on day 1 here live on Kwese Sport that you can catch. We hope that you have enjoyed the action. And Ghana will finish off with a final. Well, will they? Maybe not. Was that not over the dead ball line? And he's given the try.
Yeah, that's a
Mohammed
A
Hamza
good try.
Suleiman gets in for the try.
almost there. Just made it. Just made it.
Wow,
He seemed to be enjoying his handoffs a bit too much because he had 3 or 4 before he got to the try line and wanted to continue within the try line. As the kick is
shanked.
Yeah.
But it's a good finish from Ghana. They finish off with a flurry with the last say in their final game. But make sure you don't go anywhere, because there are still 2 games left and one that we're going to watch with interest, because it's the ever improving Madagascar versus Zimbabwe. But this game is concluded. A great competitive game, and well done to Morocco, winning it 26 points to 10.
When you're hot, is this hot? And you're big, this big. When you're deep, is this deep. And you're busy, this busy. When you live in a place of possibility, when you're driving Africa's growth, you never stop moving forward. Standard Bank, moving forward.